Working in very high places is not something that most of us can easily do. Our brains respond to these conditions with fight or flight reactions like high adrenaline, rapid heart rate, hypervigilance, or just nervousness. Over time and with training, we learn to acclimate to working with heights safely. But whether or not you work with heights, for many of us, our days are filled with an anxiety that involves constantly arranging our lives and the lives of others, or looking for a safety harness or even a substance of some kind that will help us navigate through the terrible outcomes that we imagine. When we look at the next part of Jacob's story, we discover the reason behind his deceitfulness. It isn't greed, but a constant gnawing fear. Welcome to Building Metal, brought to you by Baird & Wilson Sheet Metal. We went to your brother Esau, and now he is coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him. That's what the messengers said to Jacob. The last time Jacob was near his brother Esau was 20 years ago, when his mother told him of Esau's plan to kill him. Has 20 years softened him? Or has it made him even hungrier for vengeance? We know of Esau's appetite, and killing has always been his occupation. Jacob's goal was to return to the land of his father, to bring his own family to what was promised to Abraham, to come home. But every thought of home, every memory, every imagination of what might be is blocked with the searing profile of his betrayed brother looming constantly in his mind. Home is not a reality. Home is not an attainable goal until the issue of Esau is dealt with. He must face Esau, or die, or perhaps die by facing Esau. But there is no escaping the inevitable, and the inevitable may be the imminent wrath of 400 vengeful horsemen and a cheated brother who would balance the scales of justice. When Laban left the camp to return to Haran, Jacob slowly led his burgeoning family and servants in the dusty cloud of countless livestock and camels weighed down with his possessions westward toward the river Jabbok. Along the way, he spotted another camp. It was not human. It was an encampment of angels that met him. And he called the place Mahanaim, which means two camps, angel and human, heaven and earth. Yet even the presence of angels did not calm his obsessive need to arrange for all possible outcomes, to mitigate the worst-case scenarios that played through his mind. He would split his family and flocks into two camps as well. If one camp was attacked, the other might survive. He prayed in desperation, "O God of my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, Lord, you who said to me, 'Go back to your country and your relatives, and I will make you prosper.' I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown your servant. I had only my staff when I crossed this Jordan, but now I've become two camps." Jacob reminded God of what he said. Was it a prayer based in faith or an attempt to manipulate God? He had become two camps because he is a man of two minds, heaven and earth. He continued, "Save me, I pray, from the hand of my brother Esau, for I am afraid he will come and attack me, and also the mothers with their children. But you have said, 'I will surely make you prosper, and will make your descendants like the sand of the sea, which cannot be counted.'" In his fear, Jacob is pushing back on God, saying, "Surely you will do what you said, right? Surely you wouldn't let innocent mothers and children be attacked, right?" He would work until dusk, frantically arranging an exorbitant gift to pacify his brother: 220 goats, 220 sheep, 40 camels, 40 cattle, and 30 donkeys. It was an entire estate of wealth. Maybe that would be enough to quell his anger. Maybe that would keep him from wetting his sword with the blood of his family. That night he sent his loved ones and all his possessions across the Jabbok River. On one side of the stream was everything and everyone that mattered to him, and on the other side was only himself, alone. Alone with the sleepless exhaustion of an overworked imagination and carrying an unbearable weight of worry. But he wasn't alone very long. Out of nowhere, a man suddenly attacked him, taking him to the ground. Was this Esau surprising him? Had he been hiding, waiting to get him at his weakest? Jacob counters, grasping and straining in the dark against this powerful stranger whom he cannot quite see. Though he is thrown to the sand repeatedly, he holds his own, and he holds on with every muscle and sinew, clenching and countering the faceless man through the night, as if wrestling a bear, which would annihilate him if he were to let up. He realized, sometime between the rush of mindless adrenaline and the burning, wheezing gasp for air, this is no man at all. All doubt was erased when the match ended abruptly just before dawn. The stranger simply touched the socket of Jacob's hip and wrenched it permanently. Yet Jacob still held him with excruciating desperation. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." But Jacob replied, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." The man asked him, "What is your name?" "Jacob," he answered. He is Jacob, the heel catcher, the deceiver, the manipulator, the one who has been wrestling his whole life, vacillating between two minds, faith and fear, heaven and earth. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome." Jacob said, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed him there. Jacob had been wrestling with a visible manifestation of God himself, often referred to as the angel of the Lord, which many theologians recognize as a pre-incarnate Old Testament appearance of Christ. Jacob's attempt to capture his name is Jacob trying yet again to gain control, to get an angle, to put a confining label on he who is incomprehensibly uncontainable. And what blessing is he asking for? God has already given him the blessings he wanted. Maybe he wanted God to make him strong enough to defeat Esau. But the blessing he needs is freedom from the double-minded torment of a constant anxiety that no riches, strength, or cleverness can ever heal. So God gave him a new name, an identity that tells him he is fully and deeply known by the God of the universe. Israel means one who struggles with God. And then God gave him a wound. Jacob will walk with a limp the rest of his life. The gift of the wound is the gift of removing the fallacy of self-reliance. He does not make Jacob stronger than the thing he fears, Esau. He makes him much weaker, so that he cannot be tempted to rely on himself, but must, by necessity, rely on God. When the sun rose, Jacob, weakened and sleepless, looked in the distance. On the horizon came a rider, Esau, with his army of men. Jacob arranged his immediate family behind him, grouping the children with their mothers in preparation for whatever is about to happen. Then he moved toward the approaching doom, bowing to the ground in surrender 7 times, waiting for Esau to finally come and stand before him with the sword of judgment. Except Esau isn't standing. He's running. Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. He threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they wept. Then Esau looked up and saw the women and children. "Who are these with you?" he asked. Jacob answered, "They are the children God has graciously given your servant." The narrative that Jacob had created in his mind was fiction, a 20-year theft of a sound night's sleep. There was no vengeful hunter waiting for him. There was only his twin, wanting desperately to embrace once again his long-lost brother. Here are some tools to take with you. Number 1. Much of our time and energy is wasted worrying about something that is not real. Number 2. God invites us to wrestle with Him, to be open and honest with our questions, doubts, thoughts, and feelings. And number 3. The wounds of God are the means by which freedom from fear is possible. We'll be back again soon with more tools from Building Metal.